Hey guys, Tyson and Brady with Golf Ascending. Today we are at the Claret Club here with Bryan again. We are going to be doing an iron fitting for myself. I've recently found the irons that I love and I want to get them spec'd out specifically to me. So that includes shafts, that includes lie angle, length, all the fun stuff that Bryan's going to help me fine tune and get me optimized in my iron game. So super excited. We're going to do this video in a couple days because it's a long process. So let's get right into it and Bryan's going to take it away.
All right, so today we're going to do an iron fitting for Tyson. We're going to do the iron fitting with the 6 iron for really no other reason than it's just industry standard. That's just what they decided to do, so that's what we're going to go with. Tyson has the Titleist CBs and he loves them, and I am not going to try to sell him on anything else because he won't buy it. So I have an entire wall of sub 70 fitting clubs with interchangeable heads and shafts. Great company out of Chicago. If you haven't heard of them, check them out. But this is the head that we're going to use for his fitting, because basically what we're going to do tonight is we're going to figure out what shaft he needs to be putting in his irons in order to basically get the ball in the hole faster. So I'm going to have him hit a few shots with his 6 iron. We're going to lay down some baseline numbers, and we're going to talk about what's happening with the club, with the ball, all that stuff. And then we're going to go with the sub 70 head, and we're going to start trying some different shafts, and we're going to see if we can get some improvements on them. A lot of it's the same as like when we were doing the driver stuff, right? So I'm looking at the club path, where the face is aimed, right? You're a fade player. Your club path is outside in, right? So you need to have the club face closed to the target line about half what the path is, right? So path 8 degrees outside in, club face 4 degrees closed. So that's going to start a little bit right of the target and fade back right to the target. So nothing wrong with that at all. I would like to see him a little closer to 0, right? And there are some things that we're gonna do to see what we can do with that. Backspin 6300 for a fade player with a 6 iron. That backspin is really, really good. That's actually pretty low backspin for somebody that is a fade player. And that's one of the biggest things we can do is figure out if you're a fade player or a draw player. And just go with it. Because there's nothing wrong with either, right? We just need to figure out what you are and make it better. So 6300 on the backspin with a fade ball is fantastic. That smash factor, ball speed divided by club head speed, 1.35. That's right at PGA Tour average. So you're still hitting the ball as solid as a PGA Tour Pro, your average PGA Tour Pro, with a fade swing. So that's awesome right there. Club head speed 84. So here's the weird thing. Your driver club head speed is really fast. Like, it's really, really hard. And it's like you're on cruise control with the irons, and I don't know if it's because those shafts want to do something different and they're fighting against you, so you have to go slower. But we're gonna see if we can get that club head speed over 90, because you should absolutely be hitting like 176, 180. You should not be hitting 6 iron 176, 180. You should be hitting like 200 yards, like every single time. So we're gonna see if we can figure that out. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do something that's a little bit weird, that Tyson's gonna be really uncomfortable with, and the reasoning behind this, super simple. When we're swinging a golf club and we're staring at the golf ball, our eyes and our brain are sending signals back and forth, and we're feeling things, and we're gonna make little tiny adjustments, little manipulations, right? If the club is not doing exactly what we want it to do. I want to get rid of that. I want to build Tyson a 6 iron that is going to go exactly where he wants it, as solid as can be, with his eyes closed. So we're going to see what his current club does with his eyes closed. Okay, so there are a couple of keys to this. He already has it in his brain how that club should feel moving around his body. I want him to get rid of that. Okay, so when you're swinging this club, do your setup, take a look at the target, take a look back at the ball, and then close your eyes and take the club back. And I want you to let the club do whatever it wants to do. I don't want you to change anything. I don't care how bad the shot is. I don't care how good the shot is. Both spectrums give me exactly what I need to know. All right? So I'm going to tell him that it's probably going to be really ugly. And that's actually a good thing. So let's see what happens.
That felt good.
You know what, dude? That's not bad. For your first...
That felt really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fading a little bit, but it was on the center of the
Dude,
face.
that's not bad.
I was nervous I was going to smash your launch monitor and shake it off the hosel. So...
This swing with your eyes closed, right? It was actually pretty decent. So pretty solid contact, right? Spins a little high, but your club path, you know, just about the same as what it usually is. But the club face is open, right? So what that tells me is that the shaft is probably a little bit too light and a little bit too soft for you, because you're overpowering it with the short takeaway and the John Rahm Tony Finau move, right, where it goes short and then you just yank through it. You're putting too much torque on the shaft, and that club face is going open. When your eyes are open, you're able to do a Sam Snead and shut the door. But with your eyes closed, you can't. When we're on the golf course, we want a golf club that is going to arrive just like this without us even thinking about it. That's when we start to win tournaments. It's when we start to win our flight. That's when we start to shoot our best scores, is when we don't actually have to think about our swing on the golf course. So that's what we're going to look for. So the next step is we are going to pick a club head, all right? Any club head, because we are specifically doing a shaft fitting for Tyson. And the shaft fitting is all about the loading and the unloading of the shaft and the timing of when that loading and the unloading happens. If the loading happens too late or too early, the club face goes this way, that way, all that stuff without you even knowing it. So that's really what we're looking for. We're going to go with the sub 70 head. This 6 iron is 1 degree stronger than Tyson's Titleist CB, which is very negligible. It's not going to make a big difference. What's going to make the big difference is the shaft that we put in it. So when we're going through this process, I'm only going to have Tyson swing 2, maybe 3 swings with each shaft, because he's been playing golf for long enough that after enough swings, he's going to figure out how to hit the golf club. And I don't want him to have to figure out how to hit the golf club. I want that golf club to do exactly what he wants every single time without him thinking about it. So 1 to 2 swings, and that's it. Oh, get it. Okay. That's the first thing I needed to know. The first thing I need to know is what happens when we go heavier and stiffer, right? And when we go heavier and stiffer, your club goes more across the line, because there's more mass in this area of the club than there is down in the head. So we're actually going to go a little lighter and a little softer.
Okay. That was a really bad strike. That wasn't even...
All right, so good swings, bad swings, they all give me information.
Okay.
All right. So your first instinct is give me one more swing. Right?
No, that wasn't. It's not even necessarily that one. Give me one more swing. I just want to make sure that because I've been going through my mental thing. I felt myself do the forward move. And that was a. I'm surprised that didn't shoot off the hosel.
But what if I told you that the weight and flex and the physics of the golf club actually contribute to you making those mistakes?
I like to believe it.
Yeah. So that's why we're taking that one out.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Do you want any feedback from me of me telling you that felt really light or that felt really whippy? Because that one did.
Yeah,
that felt very whippy.
Okay. Yeah, your feedback, the feedback I would want from you is...
That didn't feel stable to me.
It didn't feel stable. This one feels like too much work.
Okay, that one felt noodle.
Yeah, or this one feels like I have to swing harder.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. So, on the record, that one was on like the noodle scale. That was pretty flimsy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's coming back. Get out of your head. Get out of your head.
Okay.
That's the shank.
All right. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. There we go.
Eyes closed.
Huh.
It was in your head.
It was in my head.
It's kind of amazing, isn't it?
I'm telling you, those two swings were in my head.
Okay, look at this. Look at this. All right, I'm going to bring up these numbers again. Closed eyes. Okay. Club head speed 83. So your club head speed was 84 before, right? Remember how we were like 8 degrees outside in and 4 degrees closed? Look at that.
Yeah, that's a big change.
That's a huge change.
And not only that, that was after 2 shanks with my eyes closed. 2 shanks. 2 shanks.
Yeah. Tyson was about to...
this club was going to go on.
Yeah, he was about to have a nervous breakdown after a couple of shanks. And then he had to close his eyes and just let it go.
Perfectly straight.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want any more of this one?
One more. I want one more.
Let me close my eyes.
Yep.
Probably should.
Yeah.
From this point forward.
Dude, our brains are, they're so powerful, but we let them ruin us all the time, every day. There we go.
Eyes closed again. Yeah, I mean, little faith. It's nothing I would be offended by, but again, that's eyes closed, right? Imagine if my brain is actually in sync and not going through the mental fart.
That's with your eyes closed.
That's a carry. That's a good one.
Yeah, smash factor 1.4. That's like...
Ooh, hey, we got down to the single digits there. Oh, wait, no, club path. That was 9. That was bad.
Well, even though the club path was outside, the club face was aiming where we wanted the ball to start, right? So it's not necessarily the greatest swing ever, but it was
eyes closed.
The club face is telling the ball where to go, without you even trying it. So we're on the right track. Yeah.
That last shaft felt way more stable in my hands. Didn't really feel like it was moving or jumping away from me. So
when I switch shafts for Tyson, I'm not telling him what shaft I'm moving him to, because the second I tell him what shaft it is, the weight and the flex, immediately his brain goes, well, this is what I should be swinging, or this is not what I should be swinging. And it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I am not telling him what weight or flex or brand of shaft that I'm putting in there at all.
that went high.
Dude, you just gotta golf with your eyes closed.
That was high. That felt like a 9-iron.
You'd be surprised how often I play golf with hitting shots with my eyes closed.
What?
Yeah. putts,
Well, I'm gonna
tee
tell-
shots, everything.
So I'm just going to
Yeah.
tell you from experience, I become just a mental head case when I go through the yips. Like Brady's seen me throw clubs before. Closing my eyes, it makes me not think about everything. Like when I shut down my eyes are what's like grabbing all this data everywhere. Like, oh, okay, swings here, load here. Like when I shut that part off, it's a lot easier just to swing.
Yeah. So let's look at this right here specifically. Okay. This is why when people tell you to keep your eye on the ball, they are lying to you. It's wrong. I don't even care if you're looking at the ball. You just did that with your eyes closed.
Well, not only that, I think now we're up to club head speed is back up.
Yeah.
Distance is up.
Yep.
Club path is, it's not terrible.
So Brady just asked something to do with the eyes closed part. If your eyes are open, where are you looking? And so there's a couple different things about this. I don't care if you're looking at the ball. If your eyes are open, you can let them go fuzzy. You can let them go cross-eyed. As long as your eyes are somewhere in the direction of the ball, because it's not your eyes, it's the stability of your head. Right? So your head cannot shift laterally or vertically. That's the important thing. With the eyes closed, that accentuates the fact that 50 or 60 or 70 years of us being told that we need to keep our eyes on the ball is complete crap. Because the ball becomes our target. And the ball is not our target. Our target is 180 yards out that way. All right? So literally the ball does not matter.
A little heavy.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. That's kind of what I expected. So now I want to do something that's going to illustrate this kind of on the extreme level. So I'm still not going to tell Brady what shaft I'm going to put in his hands.
Tyson.
Oh, sorry, Brady. Tyson. I'm still not going to tell Tyson what shaft I'm going to put in his hands. But we're going to go
Senior
like
flex.
super heavy and stiff and see what happens.
Eyes closed again. Hey.
And that right there is why there's no universal rule to this. Because that shaft is 130 gram extra stiff KBS
Shut up.
C-taper torque.
What?
That's basically the heaviest, stiffest shaft you can get without being a PGA Tour player. Right there.
I'm gonna tell you.
And he just absolutely murdered that.
I wouldn't. The only thing I would be able to tell you about the shaft, it does feel on the heavier side, but it doesn't feel like way heavy. It feels stable, like one of the that first one I told you it was stable. It feels like that one.
Yeah. And that was with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
So we look at the numbers right here.
Yeah, oh, and my club head speed was about the same, huh? Right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, 80's slower.
Club
That's
head
because
speed,
probably 'cause it's
slower.
heavier, though.
Yeah.
Probably.
But the path and the face
Oh yeah.
a lot closer to zero,
Oh yeah.
right? Ball flight's a little bit down, right? 80 feet. You probably want to get the ball a little higher. So we might back off the weight a little bit. But just because I believe that most players are playing a shaft that's too heavy and too stiff, doesn't mean that's true for everybody. That's why we do this.
All I know is that I'm swinging a club and I'm closing my eyes because mentally I can't handle it right now.
Yeah. There are...
It's actually probably, you know what, if you have the yips, go get fitted. Because then you close your eyes and then you trust the club and not your mind.
Yeah. So there are two types of golfers. There are hitters and there are swingers. A hitter is somebody who's compact, fast, sharp, hard to the ball. A swinger is more like Payne Stewart, John Daly, where it's long, loopy, takes a little bit. and the club gets like super heavy, right? So I'm a swinger. I make the club head super heavy, right? Let gravity, take over, drop the hammer. Tyson is a hitter, more like Nick Price, right? Short, quick, to the point. John Rahm, he's a hitter. Those type of golfers require completely differently built golf clubs.
That was in the middle again. Whoa! That was like right down the middle of the line with my eyes closed.
Look at that. Look at that club path and the face.
Wow.
Almost zero.
Wow.
Was it really?
Yeah.
0.6, 0.9.
Yeah, that club went straight down the target line, and that club face aimed straight at the target, and you didn't have to do anything to make it do that.
You know something funny too? That swing didn't feel like a perfect swing by me, just FYI. That felt like a very, just kind of average swing. That wasn't flush like the other one, but that was a miss it off the face. But still though, for a miss.
This is only the first step in the process. So what we're going to do once we find the shaft for Tyson is that we're going to order the shafts and we're going to bring them in, and I'm going to spine them, make sure they're stable. I'm going to build up a 6-iron with his club heads that we can then test and do the final stages of the fitting. So that's where we test for weight ratio, heavier head, heavier handle, lie angle, all that stuff, length. That's where we really fine tune everything. So the only thing we're really looking for right now is energy release and the club aiming where we want it to go without you trying. All those little, tiny things, we're going to do that in the next step of the process. All right, so this is our last shaft that we're going to try. We got some pretty amazing results with 2 shafts ago. But I want to give one more shot to something that's about the same as what we had with that eyes closed swing, but hopefully maybe just a little bit different profile that's going to get a little better. I want one more. Eyes open. I want one more swing, eyes open. There you go. I was hoping that the True Temper X100 would give it just a little more spin, get it up in the air a little bit more. But that club path went straight across the line again, right? Which is going to be less controllable, less consistent. So,
Maybe go back to that.
So this True Temper, it's actually really, it's closer to like 135 grams, right? 136. So we're gonna go back to the Nippon. No, it was the KBS. It was the 130X. So the reason the True Temper felt softer and more, because you felt that release, is because of the steps on the shaft that allow it to flex a little more. And that's
I probably also felt that too after hitting that one, and there was another one that was pretty stable and heavy, and honestly, I bet if I were to swing mine, they'd probably feel like noodles.
Well, there we go.
That went far.
That went far.
Wow.
That's what you said to begin with. You want me to be carrying it 200.
Yeah. I think that we are getting a slight misread on the backspin.
Yeah,
because
I don't think that's going to be 23.
I have a hard time thinking that with a fade swing you're hitting a 6 iron with 2,500 RPM.
Yeah.
That being said, the sound, the quality of the contact, the direction that everything's going, without you trying to do anything, that's it.
Oh, that was right on the middle. Oh, a little open though. I can see that. That might have been my takeaway.
Alright, so part of this, what I'm really looking at more than anything is that club face. The club face is aiming where we want the ball to go, right? The club path still being across, that's stuff that we're going to fix with length, swing weight, lie angle, a couple grams here, a couple grams there, mid-size grade, like all that stuff, which we're going to get to later. I want solid contact. I want the club face aiming where we want the ball to go, and I want to hear that. I want to hear that sound, and that's what I'm hearing right now.
This feels solid. I do feel like I'm getting the good contact.
That tape actually might not even stay on there.
Oh, that is very gone.
There we go.
That's like long carry. Oh.
Is that 190? So you're not swinging any harder.
No.
The ball flight's going straighter, carrying a full club longer, and we haven't even done all the final tweaks on it. So we get that shaft, we build it up, and we go from there. All right, so last time out, what we did is we figured out what shaft we needed to put in Tyson's irons, strictly for stability, for accuracy, and also to get the most energy we could out of the shaft. So now that we've got the shaft figured out, I've built up a 6 iron with that shaft. I've spined the shaft so it's in its most stable state, and we are going to hit some shots, and we're going to mess with not only the weight ratio of the club, but also the length, lie angle, and loft, and we're going to optimize everything we can. All right, so I've got this built up as our test club, and I've got it built up a 1/2 inch over standard. We're going to start with Tyson using the full length of the club and see what happens with the strike on the face, whether it's toe, heel, center strike, and then we're going to mess with the length. We're going to have him move up and down the grip and mess with that until we get the best contact, and then once we get that, we're going to start messing with the weight. I'm going to make the head heavier, make it lighter, and see what happens to our smash factor, to our attack angle, everything like that. And once we have that, we're going to do a lie angle test and make sure that we've got everything bent to where we need it to be, so everything comes through smooth, and we're going to go from there. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. Eyes closed. The club doing whatever it wants to do, right? A little bit outside in. Face a little bit open, right? So what we need to do is, and our smash factor was a little bit low, right? We want it to be somewhere around 135, like somewhere around there. So in order to get that club face to square up a little bit more and try to bring this up and bring the backspin down a little bit, we're going to go a 1/2 inch shorter. So I'm going to put this rubber band on there, and I want you to pretend that this is the end of the club. So right about there. Okay. So when you grip it, just pretend that's the end of it. Yep. Ooh.
Hey, hey, hey.
So still a little bit extra spin, right? The smash factor is much higher right there. That's a pretty solid shot right there. But there's still a pretty big difference between the club path and the face. So I don't want to make it any shorter, right? Because we're gonna start to lose club head speed. So I'm gonna add some weight down to the head and hopefully slow that face down a little bit. All right, so we figured out the length that we need and the swing weight that we need for Tyson's club. The last thing that we need to do is figure out our lie angle. Now, most people are going to have a big plastic board that they put on the ground, and they're going to put a sticker on the bottom of it, and you're going to take a swing. The lie angle board. But the problem with that is that it doesn't actually really tell us exactly what's going on with the bottom of the club, mainly because people see this big plastic board and they just smash down right into it. Okay, so it's not necessarily their swing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Sharpie line on the back of this ball, and I'm going to have Tyson take a couple swings, and we're going to look at the club face, and wherever that line is pointing is going to tell us whether I need to go more upright or flatter.
Sweet.
There we go.
That's not gonna help you.
No, it's going to help.
Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Look at how much that came
Let's
off.
take a look.
I'm not too far off, actually. It's a little bit. So we would have to bend that. If that is what my swing is, we'll probably check it just to make sure in a couple more swings, but we'll probably have to bend it upright. That was good.
So that was pretty nailed right there.
I'm not even gonna look at it. A little out toward the toe. But yeah, it actually
Okay.
looks like it's similar. It actually looks like it's a similar line. The other one was right here. So it looks like I'm going to be a little upright. So that confirms it.
All right, so that was a little toey. But if we look at it, it's still angled in towards the heel a little bit. So we get that perpendicular. Toe comes down, right? So the ball flight ended up going a little bit or a little bit right because of the gear effect, because he caught it on the toe. If the toe is coming through the strike zone down, then we don't have the ability to contact it on the heel. So we're going to contact it out on the toe. And then we're going to get that gear effect where the face goes this way, the ball goes this way, and it's going to shoot out to the right for a lefty, to the left for a righty. All that backwards lefty stuff. So I'm going to take this club, I'm going to get a little bit more upright. We're going to see what happens.
All right, so for you guys that don't really understand, how to bend lie angles and you don't know what upright and flat is, just kind of give you a very easy explanation. Upright means that you're bending it more towards a vertical, straight up and down line. Bending it flat means you're going more horizontal. So in a standard iron, if it's angled this way, right or left-handed, upright is going to go like this, flat is going to go out.
So what I'm doing is I'm measuring the lie angle and at the same time the loft of Tyson 6 iron. And so what it was at is, you're not going to be able to see it on this side because he's lefty and crazy. But it was at 62 degrees on the lie angle. So basically the face and the shaft, right? So we're going to take it up to about 64 degrees and see what happens from there.
It feels more balanced, like it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Kind of. Probably should close my eyes for this test. That was off the toe. Oh my god. I missed the groove, but that's right down the line though.
But it's 100% straight.
It's 100% straight up and down, but it's just not in the center.
Yeah. If you take another swing with your eyes closed, that's going to be dead center in the middle of the club face.
That's better.
There we
That
go.
was maybe about a groove lower, but it's good though. That was really good.
That's what we're looking for right there.
Yeah, that was. I didn't hit that one right on the screws, but it was maybe just like a groove.
Yeah.
212.
That's perfect. All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 6-iron and I'm going to run the specs on it: length, swing weight, lie angle, loft, all that stuff. And I'm going to build up the rest of the set to match that, just based off of those specs. At one point, we might graduate to customizing the lie angle of every individual club as we go through. But for now, I'm just going to build everything off the specs of this 6-iron, and we should go from there.
All right, guys, so in case you missed it in the video, it was a little quiet, but Bryan fit me into the KBS C-Taper 130X shafts. Got that nice little steel, brush steel look. He put these really cool ferrules on there. They are black with gold and purple, kind of got the Huskies vibe going on, but pretty happy with the results. I've been hitting the ball a lot better. Shaft is working with me. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Me and Brady upload golf content every week. We'll see you next time.